34-year-old Jabari Henley is the son of Eugene Henley, better known as Big U. Eugene Henley once managed Nipsey Hussle and is alleged to be the former leader of the Rollin' 60s Crips gang.
Got killed tonight. He has one son that plays for the Chargers and one son that does not. And I don't know which son it was that got killed. I think it's the son who doesn't play for the Chargers.
Blacc Sam's name is suddenly back in the spotlight again. And it's all because Big U's family just got hit with some real trouble near Nipsey's old block. Halloween night in South Central went from cool to ice cold the moment sirens started echoing down Figueroa and 69th like a warning shot to the whole neighborhood. The word spread fast, too fast. Jabari Henley, known around the streets as Baby UIE, had just been caught in a situation that turned serious real quick. He was Big U's son, and the streets froze when folks heard what happened to him. No suspects, no clear explanation, just silence mixed with heavy shock and nonstop whispers moving across the city like smoke. And anytime something goes down near Nipsey's old stomping grounds, you already know the block starts talking loud. Old stories start crawling out the shadows, and the first name rolling off everybody's tongue is Blacc Sam. Now, to be clear, nobody has confirmed any connection between this situation and that long, complicated history between Big U and Blacc Sam. But people in LA don't wait for official reports before they start doing their own math. The tension between those two runs deep like concrete roots. Big U and Blacc Sam once stood side by side, but what started as guidance and brotherhood eventually flipped into a quiet, icy standoff over Nip's legacy. So when the word got out that Big U's son had been taken out of the picture, it didn't feel random to a lot of people. It felt like history creeping back up, refusing to stay quiet. And through it all, Blacc Sam's silence says more than any post or caption ever could. Maybe he's hurting, or maybe he's sending a reminder that in South Central, some chapters don't close just because you want them to. And here's where the story really begins to heat up. Jabari got caught up right in the heart of Vermont and Slauson. If you're from LA, you already know what that intersection represents. That spot holds decades of memories, danger, and straight-up pride. It's not just another corner, it's territory connected to the Rollin' 60s neighborhood, the same crew that once moved under Big U's leadership. It was Halloween night, just after 11 p.m., when Jabari walked up to a parked vehicle near a smoke shop. And from that moment on, everything changed in an instant. Seconds later, the whole block heard loud pops, and the suspects sped off before anyone could even process what went down in front of them. It happened so fast, it felt unreal. And the streets didn't need any official statement to understand the weight of that moment, because this wasn't just some random corner or gas station. Everybody knew this spot was home turf. This was the same ground that shaped Nipsey, Big U, and the complicated world that connected them, while also pulling them apart. So when the news spread, people weren't just asking who was involved, they were asking why here. And that one question brought all the old whispers crawling right back out the shadows. See, people know there's been a Cold War between Blacc Sam and Big U for years. Not the kind you see played out online, but the kind built on silence, distance, quiet tension, and a whole lot of mixed respect and resentment all packed into one. So when something this serious happens in that exact location, folks around here start connecting dots instantly, because in this part of LA, nothing is ever viewed as random. But Blacc Sam didn't say a single word. No caption, no statement, no live stream, nothing. Complete silence. And honestly, that silence speaks louder than any sentence he could have typed. That's the thing about Blacc Sam. Like, in the streets, he's known as the guy who moves with strategy, patience, and real discipline. He's never been the loud type. He's not chasing views or trying to trend. From the early days in Crenshaw, he was always the protector, not just of Nipsey himself, but of everything they were building brick by brick. Back when Nip was still selling mixtapes from the trunk, Sam was behind the scenes plotting the long game. He wasn't the rapper, he was the architect, the businessman, the one making sure the marathon wasn't just a slogan. It was a real system that ran like a machine. And that careful way he moves didn't come from nowhere. Sam has lived through it all. Run-ins with the law, close calls, street politics, and heavy lessons. He learned early that in LA, the loudest dude in the room is usually the weakest one, so he chose silence, and that silence always carried power. So when word spread that Big U's son lost his life energy, people looked toward Blacc Sam, not expecting a post, but trying to feel his presence because the ones who know their history know exactly how he moves, and that's why the streets are reading deep into his quiet. Some say his silence is him showing respect. Others say it's him showing restraint, making sure Nipsey's name stays clean while everyone else stirs things up. But the ones who really understand the game see it as a message. When Blacc Sam is quiet, it's not because he doesn't know what's happening, it's because he's watching and waiting. Speaking of the real ones, let's rewind and talk about how we even got here in the first place. Before the headlines and the speculation, there was a long, complicated story going back to the mid-2000s when Nipsey was still building his name on Crenshaw. Back then, Big U was one of the biggest forces in Los Angeles. He wasn't just a leader in the rollin' 60s. He was deep in the music industry too, managing artists, making heavyweight phone calls, and opening doors. Most people from the neighborhood never even got near. When Big U connected with Nipsey, it was like raw power linking up with pure potential, and the city felt it instantly. He helped Nip get signed to Epic Records, walked him into rooms full of industry heavyweights, and gave him his first real shot at moving from street certified to industry approved. For a minute, everything seemed locked in. Big U was the muscle, Nipsey was the vision, and together they were turning street grind into real music business energy. But that balance didn't last long. The same control that made Big U influential also started boxing Nipsey in once the business got more complicated. Nip and Blacc Sam began realizing they didn't need anyone steering the ship for them. They had their own plan, their own structure, their own mission. Ownership, independence, all money in, no looking back. So when they finally cut ties and went solo, it wasn't just a business move. It was a statement to the whole city. That decision hit hard, and everybody felt it. Because walking away didn't just mean separating from a label, it meant stepping away from the man who once helped push Nip into the industry spotlight. And in LA, moves like that don't just quietly disappear. They create lines, divides, and unspoken tension built on pride, loyalty, history, and the feeling of betrayal mixed with new ambition. From there, things between Big U and Nip's camp fell apart fast. Rumors started swirling, heated arguments, disagreements about money, confrontations tied to music decisions, and the energy between them got heavy. Even when they tried reconnecting years later, when Big U briefly worked with Nipsey again during one of his promo runs, the unspoken tension never completely faded, especially not for Blacc Sam, who never forgot how that power struggle first began. So when serious drama hits anywhere close to Nipsey's legacy, especially near the blocks that raised all of them, old names and old stories always pop back up, because none of this is just about what went down recently. It's about everything that was left unresolved. After the split, both men built their own empires, just in totally different ways. Big U stayed rooted in the same streets that shaped him. His reach stretched from Rollins 60s territory all the way into meetings with industry decision makers. To many, he was the bridge between neighborhood politics and corporate music rooms. To others, he was still the enforcer, the gatekeeper, the figure whose name carried real weight, a mix of respect, pressure, and presence. He organized community programs, built connections, shook hands with executives, but never stopped commanding attention in the neighborhoods he came from. Every move reminded people that Big U's presence still meant power, the type that doesn't need a microphone, just a single phone call. Blacc Sam, meanwhile, was building something completely different. Where Big U leaned on force, Sam focused on structure. His lane was clean: business paperwork, property ownership, community investment, real foundations built for long-term strength. And he did it all while staying quiet, precise, and intentional. Instead of chasing block control, Blacc Sam used all money in to help Nipsey turn independence into a full lifestyle brand that people could actually feel and live with every day. He turned ownership into the new badge of honor, something real and respected. And when Nipsey passed on, Sam locked in even harder, keeping the marathon name sacred and guarding that legacy like it was part of his own DNA. So while Big U represents the old school code, loud presence, street influence, and heavyweight pressure, Blacc Sam represents the new blueprint built on ownership, family, structure, and quiet power. Two sides of the same city, two eras still colliding in spirit, even when nobody says a word out loud. And that's exactly why things never feel fully settled in Los Angeles. Because when something serious shakes the block, like the situation involving Big U's son, it doesn't just trigger grief, it wakes up that invisible tug of war that never truly ended. But here's the real question the whole city has been asking. Why did this even happen to Big U's son? Was this some kind of payback? Because the moment the news spread that Big U's son had lost his life energy, the word payback was already floating around the city before cops even taped the area off. Now, nobody is saying there's proof, but let's be real. With the kind of reputation Big U built over decades, people were always going to dig deeper. This wasn't just anybody. This was someone connected to a man with a long list of rivals. A man now dealing with serious federal legal pressure tied to racketeering, robbery, and extortion allegations. That kind of smoke makes even close friends keep their distance and watch their backs. Some people whispered it was karma, saying the choices of the father were finally circling back. Others hinted it might have been revenge, maybe from rival crews, maybe from old business tensions, maybe from someone who felt burned back in the day when street politics blended with industry deals. Jabari, meanwhile, was carving out his own lane, trying to build a name in the music world, while also navigating the heavy shadows of his father's legacy. But the streets never forget. And sometimes past actions return in ways that nobody sees coming. Big U has been facing intense legal attention for alleged corruption, embezzlement, and old conflicts that turned messy. And people close to the scene say he built a reputation enforcing rules in some of LA's toughest corners. And every rule creates someone keeping score. That history casts a long shadow. A shadow Jabari might have been standing in without even knowing it. Now here's the part that shakes people the most. Jabari had survived a lifetime of street-shaped struggles long before this moment. His uncle lost his life in a drive-by when Jabari was just a kid, and he grew up navigating a father who spent years behind bars and a family deeply connected to LA's underground world. By the time he stepped into the music scene, he was balancing rising fame, street credibility, and the weight of his family's name all at once. So the question still remains, did his rising spotlight make him a target connected to old enemies from his father's past? Online chatter is going wild right now. From Reddit threads to street forums, all filled with non-stop speculation about revenge and payback energy swirling through the city. Some people think this whole situation ties back to older neighborhood rivalries. Others say somebody wanted to test whether the Henley name still carried weight in the streets, even as Jabari tried to build his own lane away from that world. But even while he tried to stand on his own path, he was still connected to Big U's world. Record label circles, collaborations with big artists, and a lifestyle built around visibility and attention. And sometimes that kind of visibility paints a target on you whether you ask for it or not. This whole tragedy feels like another reminder that the past never stays buried out here. Enemies, grudges, and old problems can float around long enough to touch the next generation. And that's what scares people the most. But we still have to wait before we find out whether this situation was just a terrible random street moment, or something aimed directly at Big U himself. And then there's the darkest theory. The one nobody wants to say, but everybody keeps whispering. Some believe this was a message, not just for Big U, but for everyone connected to him. Almost like someone saying, you can run things for decades, but you can't outrun the energy you created. That's how the streets work. And with Big U locked up and his son now gone, some folks are saying the scales might finally be shifting in a direction nobody expected. But does any of this change Nipsey's legacy? Nipsey stood for elevation, unity, ownership, and neighborhood growth. And that's where things get painful. Jabari's situation feels like the exact type of cycle Nipsey fought so hard to break. When the people who are supposed to carry the torch get pulled back into old patterns and street politics, it hits the city in a way that hurts differently. Nipsey's message was all about building, uplifting, and winning on your own terms. Yet here we are. Big U has lost his son, and his entire life feels like it's cracking apart under pressure. And if you know LA, you know the streets aren't just dangerous. They keep evolving in ways that feel colder every year. These neighborhood tragedies keep happening in the same areas, same timing, same patterns, almost like the city is caught on repeat. People don't just lose their lives randomly. Many are targeted because of family ties, old issues, or old affiliations that never fully died out. Think about P&B Rock. He was eating dinner with his girlfriend, just trying to enjoy a moment, and things escalated instantly over a chain. A small thing that spiraled out of control before anyone could even react. That's how fast situations can flip out here. A lot of these deadly incidents happen at night, during holidays, or busy times when people are distracted. Halloween, New Year's Eve, 4th of July, events that should be filled with celebration, not danger. But in LA, those moments sometimes become flashpoints where the streets turn unpredictable and intense. And here's the part people keep talking about. The same street dynamics that shaped Big U and Jabari are still shaping hip-hop right now. High-profile losses, beefs, and targeted attacks aren't just random moments. They're part of a dangerous ecosystem the industry keeps feeding into. Visibility in the streets now translates to visibility online, and social media has made everything faster, louder, and more dangerous. Every post, diss, hint, or video can raise tensions instantly. And for families like Big U's, that online attention can make them targets before they even step outside their homes. We're watching younger artists get caught in the same cycle today. The new wave of LA rappers mix their music with real street credibility, which means conflicts that start in real life now leave digital clues everywhere. Comments, stories, timestamps, location tags, everything. A simple appearance in the wrong zone or linking up with the wrong circle can create a spiral that ends badly. Jabari's situation fits that pattern almost too well. He had visibility, connections, and a growing platform. And that alone made him a target the moment he stepped into that smoke shop that night. He may not have even realized how exposed he was. This shows something bigger. The streets and hip-hop don't live in separate worlds anymore. They feed into each other, creating pressure points that can explode at any moment, especially for families with powerful names attached. Legacy and reputation matter more than ever out here. And the lessons from Nipsey Hussle, Blacc Sam, and other major figures still echo today, even for artists who try to build positive platforms and break from old patterns. But past rivalries, family ties, or silent grudges can catch up faster than anyone expects. That's the crossroads modern hip-hop is standing at. Success, fame, and influence can elevate you, but they can also expose you to danger tied to things your crew or your family were part of long before you ever picked up a mic. Jabari was living that reality fully. He was pushing toward a music career while navigating a world where visibility equals vulnerability. And that's the painful truth. The evolution of LA's violence mirrors the evolution of hip-hop itself. Social media sped up everything. Respect cycles, tension cycles, beef cycles, and firearms turned disputes that used to be warnings into life-ending moments that leave families suffering in real time. This is part of a bigger pattern in hip-hop, where street legacy, online exposure, and ambition collide in ways that can turn tragic instantly. What's clear right now is this: the streets and hip-hop are still deeply intertwined. Visibility, legacy, and connections can be dangerous and powerful at the same time. All across LA and beyond, we're seeing reminders that ambition and talent don't always protect you from the cycles that follow fame and long-standing family reputations. The question now is, how long before the next chapter unfolds and who ends up caught in the middle next? If you're still here with me, make sure you like, comment, subscribe, and share this video to keep the conversation alive. And I'll catch you on the next one.